Hey everybody, it's Vince from Spradley Kia here in Pueblo, Colorado, in southern Colorado. And today I have the rarest of the cars that Kia makes right now in front of me. This is the 2023 Kia Sportage Hybrid SX Prestige in gravity gray with the carmine red interior. Hybrid Sportages are rarer than Tellurides right now. I have a Telluride sitting on my lot that we cannot sell, but I cannot keep any hybrid Kia Sportages in stock. So really, these cars are just flying off the shelves. They're just not making a lot of them either, so it is a treat to review one for you. And this is my second favorite car right now, only topped off by the 2023 plug-in Kia Sportage Hybrid SX Prestige, and that's the rarest car to find right now. But I do have the standard 1.6 liter turbocharged in front of me here. So let's get to it right away. I'm going to start off with one of my favorite features on these new Sportages, which is going to be the boomerang shaped daytime running lights right there. They are big, they are bold, and they stand out, especially like kind of right now at dusk, you know, where it's kind of late in the afternoon, not too dark, not too light. They really do stick out, and at night they are beautiful. Coming across the front here, you see the tiger nose grille that Kia likes to tote, which is pretty cool. This car does show water spots pretty easily. That's kind of weird because I've never really seen that before, but I've noticed lately we've been getting a lot of water spots on these grills lately. We have Kia's signature script badging right there in front, big and bold. And again, this is the gravity gray, which I'm a big fan of. My first Kia Stinger was Panthera metal, and I've always liked these dark grays, these dark metal colors. Kind of getting a shot right there. You have awesome LED lights as well in this vehicle. And then again, the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine. You have your sensor plates down here. You can kind of hear it humming. It is on, but it's not very loud at all. I love these machine finished alloy wheels. Those are great looking. Love them a lot, really do. And just can't get better than that, sitting on Goodyear tires. Coming up here, you do have your mirrors. Body color, you have your lights there on the back, and then if you take a look underneath, you can see the camera, which gives you some really cool effects here that'll show later on in the vehicle, in the video. There's always someone driving by in a loud car. I love the one press button here on the door, so as long as you have your keys in your pocket, in your purse, as long as you have your keys in your pocket or your purse, you can press that button once, it'll unlock the door. Press it twice, it'll unlock all four doors, and then you can set that up accordingly if you wanted to do something different. You have your push and pop gas cap, which is always cool. So as long as the car is unlocked, this guy will open, push and pop. If the car is locked, that does not open. Coming around to the back, I like how Kia's kind of minimized their badging. You don't really know this is an SX Prestige because they don't really say on the back anymore. They just have the HEV on the right-hand side and then Sportage on the left. And then you have that script badging, big and bold, right there on the center. Look how reflective this car is. I mean, I can see myself in the video. That's crazy. I thought maybe it was just the iPhone, but I think it's very reflective. That's cool. Gonna go ahead and open the bottom there. You do have a little touch button right there, right next to the camera. Go ahead and press that. That's your auto lift gate. This guy here does come with a sunshade on this particular vehicle. Not all of them do, but Kia sent us one with a sunshade, which is really cool. You have your weather cargo tray, and then you have your mats, carpeted mats. I'm going to show you guys how you can actually recline the back seats there in a second, but I do have them already set at a slight recline. But before that, let me show you what's underneath here. You pop this guy open, You have your spare tire, your toolkit down there, and see that little shelf right there, that little lever, that little shelf? You could move this floor that I'm holding and put it down a level, so you get what, about 4 inches of extra space, extra depth if you wanted to, which is really, really cool. Not a lot of people realize that these Sportages can do that. Actually, a lot of vehicles that Kia have can do that. Seltos can do that, Sportage does that, older trim levels do it too. In the back of this guy, you do have your trunk light, your 12 volt, and then your paddles. So these paddles drop those seats, which is kind of cool. And then you do have child anchor locks in the rear as well. So you can fit 3 car seats back there, depending upon the size of the car seat. But you do have that cool child anchor lock. There's that red interior there, just kind of a above shot. You can set the trunk up with smart trunk, so that way when you stand next to it, it'll open. But that is a setting in the settings, so you could definitely do that with this vehicle. And you can also close it from the button inside, or just right here, standard close button. Super cool. All right, let's go inside and let's figure out some really cool features on the inside. I have the keys in my pocket, that's why it's beeping like crazy, but let's just check out the window sticker here real quick. I'm just gonna go over, just gonna read them out loud. 18-inch dark gray alloy wheels, panoramic sunroof, smart hands-free power lift gate, LED fog lights, Harman Kardon audio, rear LED combination lights, blind spot monitor, surround view monitor, highway driving assist, remote parking assist, which is really cool. I'll show that here in a bit. Parking collision avoidance, all the safety features, 12.3 supervision cluster, LED, the list goes on and on and on. Heated windshield, which is really cool. I'll show you that as well. The gravity gray paint. This guy is just impressive. Like I said, it is the hottest selling car right now at my dealership, and when we try and dealer trade for them, for other dealerships, no Kia dealership has these right now, which is, there's a reason for it. They're cool, they're priced just right, and they are comfortable and impressive. So I just hopped in the back seat, plenty of leg room, and I have that driver's seat positioned how I would drive, so plenty of leg room here, hopping in the back. You have your little garment, your little hooks here for bags or purses that you have on both sides of the back chairs. You have your USB ports right here, USB-C ports. You have your vents, and you got a little pocket here, a little cubby there for, for things for your back passengers. Super cool. My kids would fit back here very, very comfortably. You have these new seats that Kia has been doing this year where you can hang jackets or more bags or purses on the back of those seats, and they are adjustable as well. You can also push them forward and push them back, so you can get that neck adjustment just right as well. Very, very spacious. As you can see, I have this guy reclined, like I was saying. It's just the button on your left hand side down here, and then you can just use your body weight and recline back. So if you're taller, if you're on trips, it's definitely very comfortable. This little guy opens up as well, kind of like any other SUV, and you have your cup holders. Pretty cool, very comfortable, very sturdy. Seatbelt hooks, all that safety stuff, which is always awesome. You have your grippies here, and then you have your garment hook there, and then you also have a light here that you can turn on or off. Very, very nice. Coming all around here from the front, just another view of that cabin there, which I'm going to get into here in a bit, because that's where you're going to spend a lot of your time. That's where a lot of the cool features are up here in the front cabin. But if you have back passengers, this is not too shabby at all. The leather is very comfortable, plenty of room, like I was saying, for your legs. Just an all-around great experience. All right, let's hop into the front, where you are going to probably spend, if you are the driver, the most of your time. It's where all the impressive stuff is, in my opinion. Hopping right in. All right, so I have the car on. Again, it is super quiet. You may not be able to hear it. God knows I can't, but you do have a little green ready button right there to let you know that the car is ready to go. So let's just start from left to right. You have your child window locks. You have your one-touch window controls. You have your lock and unlock. You have your mirror controls right there. And then on this model, you do have memory seats 1 and 2. Coming here to the side panel, you have your illumination buttons. So those illumination buttons will illuminate that center screen and the infotainment screen. So you can make that darker or lighter. You do have your traction control. You have your trunk open. So again, you can open your trunk that way. And then you have your 12-volt battery reset. So in this vehicle, it is a hybrid. If you leave it sitting for an extended period of time, I've never had anyone in the Sportage do this, but I've had people in the Nero do this, you know, sit for about a week, 12 days. You come back outside, it's super cold. You go to start the car, nothing happens. Okay, you press this battery reset button, you're gonna see the car kind of flicker on, and then you're good to go. It's just a way for the car to preserve that 12-volt battery. You may think that your car is dead and you need to be jumped. You don't. You just have to hit that battery reset button. You're going to find that with our hybrids, with the Nero, with the hybrid Sorento, hybrid Sportage. Yeah, so definitely something I like to point out to the hybrid customers, because most people are new to hybrids and they don't really realize there is a button for that. Electronic parking brake right there, pretty cool. And then you have this new design of the vents, which not a huge fan of, but I don't hate it. It's not the worst, it's not the best, it's just kind of cool, you know, it's there. I like it, but I'm not in love with it. All right. Light stick is always nice, set to auto, so you can set your lights to auto, off, all that good stuff. I just recommend auto. That way you you know, never have to fidget with your lights. And then you have this awesome cluster. Let's see if I get a better angle without my reflection. This car is just so shiny. You have this awesome cluster here, which I want to point out, your blind spot view monitoring. So when you go to turn your blinker on, you have a real camera there in the left, and then a real camera there in the right, so you can see those blind spots. It's called blind spot view monitoring. Very, very cool. You have your speed limit indicator up there, your miles till empty, temperature, your fuel economy, your what drive mode you're in, you know, eco, you know, sport, that kind of thing, your how many miles you've driven, and then you have, going from left to right, your different settings up top. So definitely a very cool cluster. It does not look cluttered. I'm a fan. I like what Kia is doing with these high-end vehicles, where they have these cool digital clusters. One thing I'm going to show you here is this 2 pages button right here on the right. This 2 pages button does control that center option, so you can put it into, you know, have different things. As you can see, I'm scrolling left to right, and then you have your toggle switch underneath. That toggle switch will move you up and down. So you can go to your attention level. You can do this little icon there, what's got the card, your lane keep assist icon as well. I like this mode here. It'll show you kind of your hybrid view, so where you're sending the energy. Are you expelling energy? Are you bringing energy back into your battery? I like that. I drive an EV6 and I'm a fan of watching the power distribution, but if you go up and down, a lot of people love the standard digital speedometer, which is pretty cool. Your drive info, sense refueling, accumulated info, you can do all that kind of stuff, but you can just keep going left to right. And then one thing that I do have on right now currently on my vehicle is this screen here, where it shows you the power distribution with your wheels. Again, I drive an EV6, so I kind of like to see, you know, when I have both motors going, just a single motor going, I like to see the power distribution of the wheels when the all-wheel drive kicks in. I'm in Colorado, so sometimes my roads are a little uneven, and I've just been a fan of this mode, of that view right there. But I kind of know this is my customer's car that's going to be picking it up later today, so I have a feeling she's going to want it on that one. So I'm going to leave it there so I can make sure I show her kind of that cool power distribution of where your energy is coming from and going to. So you have, let's go to the steering wheel again. So well, let's start here on the right hand side. So again, 2 pages, toggle switch. You have your cruise control options right there, adaptive cruise control right there, so that way you can set car lengths instead of miles per hour. So if you set 3 car lengths, if that car in front of you does 100, you will do 100. If they do 5 miles an hour, you will do 5 miles an hour. You have your lane forward assist, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. Oh, as you can see, the engine kicked on. So now the engine is sending you can see where that power is going. You can even hear it now. So you could definitely, that's why I like that screen. But if I press that circle button here to illustrate the lane forward assist, you're gonna see the little icon right up there pop on and off. Again, there's kind of a glare, but you got the little steering wheel icon. It uses the information in this box right here to look at the cars in front of you. If you're like on a 2-lane highway, if it'll track the car in front of you basically, and you know, one of the lanes, to kind of keep you in that lane. That way you are, yeah, it's a safety feature. So it's kind of like lane keep assist. It's called lane forward assist. So it's an add-on to lane keep assist. Kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely worth it. I use it a lot. It moves me back into the lanes if I'm veering off, which is kind of cool. On your left-hand side, you have your digital voice assistant right there. If you use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, that'll be your voice assistant for Siri or Android Auto. Your mode button controls your radio. So if I press mode over here, you're gonna see it's gonna switch over to where I can select to toggle through like Bluetooth, Sound of Music, USB music, FM. So it'll cycle you through that kind of stuff if you're into that. Most people tend not to do that anymore, but it's definitely there. You have your answer a call, and then you have your customizable star. This is our first customizable star button. So if we press that, you're gonna see back here, you're gonna get a customizable menu again. And you can make that button any one of these things: reject a call, change hands-free calling device if you have multiple people in the car, privacy mode, voice memo, home, map, all kinds of different things. Hybrid, I'm going to show you hybrid in a minute, but I'm just going to keep this on reject a call, end a call. Again, I have a feeling that my customer is going to want that there. So now when you press that button, it is going to end the call. It's just kind of what you would expect because of where those two buttons are located. So let's get into this big, beautiful screen here. So I love this screen. I'm a huge fan of what Kia is doing. It's very Star Trek-y. It's very futuristic looking. I am a huge fan. Again, that glare, man. Let me see if I can minimize it somehow. First and foremost, let's hit hybrid. So this is a hybrid vehicle. This is an SX Prestige Hybrid Sportage. So when you click on hybrid, you're going to get this this screen here where you can monitor your fuel economy, your electric motor usage. That's kind of when you start playing around with these cars, that's what you're going to probably be a little bit more into. And then you have this other diagram here showing you where your energy is being distributed. Let me see if I can just throw it into drive real quick and see if that lights up. So if I roll forward, you can see the energy is going from the battery to the electronic motor. And then I stop, I'm going to push park, and you see I didn't use the engine there. I was only using the battery to the electronic motor. If you click on it, it's going to take you into a bigger mode there for you to view. And then a little arrow takes you back. You can click on these guys and it'll give you your graph view. Graph view is kind of neat, you know, not horrible, but definitely it's something that I do like, the big visual display here. One cool thing to point out here in this part of the video is this little white arrow. If you have that white arrow, then this box becomes a tri-box, so you can scroll up and down on this thing, and you can set different, different screens there, and then you can always collapse it again. When you hook your phone to the car, you can access your maps, you can access your text messages, and it'll show up on the screen. So you do have to give some permissions depending upon what phone you have to get those features to work. Little arrow takes you back, little house takes you home. So I'm actually gonna hit little house. It's gonna take me back to my main screen here. This is also a good part of the video to where if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and like and subscribe. You know, boop that like button, and that way you can see more of my content. But just want to kind of throw it out there here in the middle of the video. Hybrid, again, like I said, my favorite screen. I really do like to play around on that screen. But this screen here is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to hit everything, but you can go into map. Takes you right back to your map. Little house takes you home. Navigation menu, so that's going to be where you can search like point of interest, search addresses. You can set your favorites down here, you know, your work, your home, all that kind of stuff. Phone, so you could Bluetooth your phone, obviously. phone projection, so that is Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, using the USB cables for that. Ironically, the lower trim levels of these cars have wireless Apple CarPlay, and the higher trim levels you need a cable. Don't understand why we can't get that technology to the higher ones. I know it has something to do with the screens, but yeah, if you have a lower trim level one of these guys, you can have wireless. You can have a wireless Apple CarPlay in a base level Kia Forte, but not in a $60,000 EV6, which is a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, moving right along, climate. So climate's pretty cool. I don't particularly use this screen a lot on my vehicle, but you have a load of information here that you can play around with. You can set the defrosters. You can set so the recirculated air, if you know you're going to use a tunnel, it's going to turn it off. And you can, when the windshield washer fluid activates, you can turn off the recirculated air. There's all kinds of stuff here that they've added in the climate screen. Valet mode, never been that fancy, but if you ever do want to valet your car, you can lock this head unit. Quiet mode's pretty cool, so if you have people sleeping in the back, you can set quiet mode up so where the volume of the radio will only go a certain volume and it will not go any higher, and that way the speakers in the front are the only speakers that are playing. So if you're in the back, you're sleeping, your kids are sleeping, passengers are sleeping, what have you, they can rest while you are up here jamming out. HD radio, it is not high definition radio like most people think. It is a company called HD Radio, but I also do believe the HD stands for high definition. That's a little confusing. We actually had a small training on that. So that's just like cellular data, traffic, Doppler radar, fuel prices. It just incorporates it into the map. Standard radio. You have your AM, your FM, your Sirius. I'm not going to turn it on just because of YouTube copyright stuff, but the radio is pretty easy to work. You can just add a channel there for your what do they call it, for your list, for your presets, and then you can go straight to channel list, which will take you into the XM. It's all here going left to right, FM, AM, XM presets. A little arrow takes you back. It'll always take you to the previous screen. And again, you can kind of collapse that. So what's kind of cool is, okay, so we have, let me show you this real quick. So we have the radio and we have the maps, right? So what if you want to put maps over there and radio over there? You have your map button down there. If I press that, it'll flop it. So that's kind of cool. You know, some people ask that. I've actually had that question a lot, to be honest. How do we flop that? And that's kind of how you do it. Voice memos, setup. What I strongly recommend doing in these vehicles is going in and clicking user profile first. Set up your user profile, set up your Kia access, set up your little picture that you want. Do all that first, because after you're done setting up your user profile, and you can have 2 of them, then you can come over here to vehicle and you can play around in vehicle all you want and change all your little settings that you want to change. And then that way it doesn't override your profile. I've actually done that personally, where I've set I did all these vehicle changes first, then I went and did my profile, and then I had to do some stuff over. So definitely do your profile first. Now, all of this is a touchscreen, obviously. So if you want to go into your driver attention warning settings, you just find it there, and then you can turn stuff on, turn stuff off. You have your list here on the left and the right of what you want. If you think this car can do something, more than likely it can. And it's just going to be in this settings and then vehicle. Like cluster is kind of cool. Like you can do cluster themes. I have it linked to drive mode right now. So I don't know if you can tell. So link to drive mode. So right now I'm in eco. So in eco, you're going to have that blue look. But if you switch it to sport, it's going to kind of do a little more sporty look. Smart mode, it's going to do, a little bit different. And then snow mode is going to kind of make it a little bit white. Now, I'm curious, so I'm going to turn link to drive mode off. I think dynamic is a new one here. And then that's kind of cool. It will turn that screen into like the weather outside. So right now it's here in Colorado. It's kind of nice outside. It's not bad, not horrible. And that screen reflects that. If it was raining, if it was snowing, you would see the weather reflect on the screen in front of you, which is kind of cool. So some people really like that, some people don't. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that on there just because when I show this car later, I wanna make sure I show my customer that. The welcome sound, you can turn the welcome sound on and off. So there's that little chirp whenever you do there. And then your service intervals. So a lot of people ask me where the service interval is. It is here in the vehicle settings, and you click enable service interval, and then you can go in here and set, you know, where you want to be. So at my dealership, it's full synthetic oils. So we recommend an oil change every 5,000 miles. And then my service department will tend to set that up for customers. The book, I think, says 7,500 miles for full synthetic. And then if you have an EV, it's different. So you trust what your service department says. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. That's what I do. Just makes my life easier. Where are we at? So I'm not going to go into all of these things, but obviously sound, navigation, data network. So this car can be a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is really cool. So to do the Wi-Fi hotspot, you do have to go into Kia Connect, set up your Kia Connect first, and then you'll be able to set Wi-Fi hotspot. So that's kind of cool. I think it's powered. Well, I know it's powered through Verizon. You get 3 gigabytes as a free trial, or 3 months, whichever happens first, and then your subscription will go through Verizon. So not horrible. General. I don't want general. What do I want? I want where is it? Is it general? No, it's not general. I wanted to show you guys Kia Connect. I could have sworn I just saw it. Is it under? Here we go. Okay, again, little house takes you back home, little arrow takes you back. So, Kia Connect. Your salespeople should really be setting this up for you. We get paid for it. So, I mean, I don't know why someone wouldn't set it up for you, because we do get our beaks wet a little by Kia if we set someone up with their Kia Connect and their e-delivery. But you just go in there, click Kia Connect settings. You can turn on 911 Connect and then activate service right there. That'll give you access to the app, the Kia Access app. So you could do remote start, remote climate, remote locking, all that kind of stuff. So very important for the customer. I mean, everybody loves that kind of stuff for free, and it is free for the first year. And then after that, there's a subscription if you want to continue for some features, but that's kind of what the gist of that is. Okay, let's scoot kind of along because I already noticed the time. So let's go down to the climate right here in this center display. So this is really cool. It's very Star Trek-y. I'm a huge fan of it. One thing I want to show you, and look what they did. They put a little sticker on here all of a sudden. That never used to be there, educating customers on what these little buttons do. So right now, one pane of glass, you have your navigation, your maps, another star button, which I'll talk about in a minute, setup and media and all that stuff. If I click the little fan, it switches to your climate, including that heated windshield button right there. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see, get real close. But if you can see the little honeycombs in the windshield, the little squiggly lines, that is a full heated windshield, which, guess what, makes that thing very expensive if it breaks. So I strongly recommend any kind of windshield insurance. We call it Car Guard, because it's definitely worth it. But yeah, you have a full heated windshield button right there. You can sync your climate for driver and passenger, but this is a hybrid vehicle. You got to remember that. So if you're driving this by yourself and you want to conserve energy, driver only. Driver only will only run the climate on the driver's side. So it's conserving energy, it's making your gas mileage better. Like I said, I drive an EV, so I'm used to driver only, and I love it a lot. So I always say to conserve the most energy, it's very Apollo 13ish. So it's all about putting on the right systems to conserve energy. So sometimes I don't even run my heater. I'll just run the heated seats and the heated steering wheel, and I feel perfectly fine. But I'm using less energy. So it just depends upon what you want with this car. You could play with this car a lot, and it's definitely fun. So if you press and hold one of these buttons, you're going to get an option where it will default to one. So you can default to infotainment or climate. So I'm going to default infotainment. So now, because I use the seek and the track for my radio. So now let's say I'm going to my climate and I fiddle with my climate. I'm going to change this a little bit and then I'm going to leave it be. I don't know, 9-10 seconds later, it will default right back to the heat and the seek and the track. So it's much better that way. That way you're not fiddling with that while you're driving. So I really like how that defaults. Pretty cool. You have this really cool little nifty cubby here. If you push up, you're going to get your USB ports, your USB-C port, and your wireless phone charger. You have your heated seats, air-conditioned seats, and heated steering wheel right there. You have your knob shifter here because it is a hybrid, so you have reverse, neutral, and drive. You have your drive modes here, and you can lock your rear wheels. So if you are in some bad weather and you want to lock your rear wheels, you can press that in and you can do that. You have your forward parking sensors. You have your camera. So if I press that camera, it's going to pop up right there to do your, well, that's your parking assist too, but it will show your camera there. We'll get into parking assist here in a minute because that's definitely a cool feature. And then here you have augmented reality. So if I press that little button there, I now have a manipulatable image in real time of what is around me. Full disclosure, I don't know how useful that is. I guess if you're backing out of a spot maybe, or if you're being chased by animals, I don't, and you want to know where those animals are around you. It's fun, it's neat, it's kind of cool. So far I haven't used it myself, but you do have different tow modes here as well. So you can do a different camera mode there for like your towing, your standard, and then you can do your sides. So a lot of different options that you have as a customer here with this car. You can even go into your settings and you can manipulate like the warnings and the lines and all that kind of stuff. So you can really customize this vehicle as much as you want. Cup holders, pretty cool, right here. So you do have your cup holders that you can push in, and then if you press this little button here, they pop out. Kind of cool. And you can just really see this red interior. I mean, it is a beautiful red interior here in this vehicle. And then we have our big panoramic sunroof. Goes all the way back to the cargo area. The actual glass opens up as well. Depending upon how you hit it and how you press it, you can bring the glass open just a little bit, like up and down. You can move the whole glass, you can move the partition. It is all there. Pretty nifty. I feel like I am forgetting some things, but I cannot think of what they are. Okay, let's do this. I know we're already at 32 minutes and 50 some seconds, but I really want to show that parking feature. Let me see if this is gonna work, because I have a big truck in front of me. I'm gonna pull in to our back area. And I am going to attempt to have this thing park itself. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try and park it on the left here. We are going to press the parking button. Hold on, I think I put in park. And then we press and hold. Leave vehicle, keep remote smart key, close all doors, press and hold forward, backward button, and smart key. Okay, well, we're not gonna do that because I wanna do it when, because I'm in park. So let's do it in drive. So let's press it again. Okay, not really working. So let's do this. Like I said, I've only been able to really get this to work once or twice. It's really useful if someone parks close to you and you have to back it out with just your key fob. That's where it really shines. So I'm going to do this. Leave the vehicle, keep the smart key, close all doors, press and hold the forward or backward button on the smart key. Okay, so I have that. Here's the key. let's see if this works. Leave the vehicle, keep the smart key, close all doors. Okay. I am going to press and hold this bottom button. It's thinking. It's getting those sensors aligned probably. It's doing nothing. It's still thinking. By now, I would have a line of people yelling at me. Oh, there it goes again. Huh. Well, like I said, it's kind of a novelty. Oh. Well, it's not really parking itself. It's kind of just backing up. Okay, well, like I said, kind of a novelty. I've only really done it to where I'm trying to get out of a parking space. Let's see. Parking assist completed. Well, I wouldn't have called it that. Here we go. This is what I wanted the first time. Press the button to display the camera view, and then press and hold to activate. Okay. I'm assuming you have to be in drive, so. On my EV6, it actually just does it. Like I've never had it like stop and do that. Like I get that screen I want every time. This one's not giving me the screen I want. Anywho, so you kind of saw how that works. If you were like if you're parked next to a couple of trucks and they're trying to get out, and they have you blocked in, you can just press the buttons on that fob and it will move you out, which very useful. Like I said, I've used it a couple of times, but trying to get this thing to park itself, it's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's accurate, it's never like crashed or anything, but it's gotten very, very close to like walls and fences. It always stops itself because it has like top-notch state-of-the-art cameras and computer systems, and I mean it always stops. I've never had it not stop, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a scary ride. Like it's got like it's scary. I am not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go park this here up on the lot real quick, take a couple of pictures, and then my customer should be here shortly. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Don't forget to boop that like button like I said. That way you can stay on top of any videos that I may or may not have posting. And hopefully this was informative. And if you have any questions, I try and get to my comments. I don't get to all of them all the time, but I try to get to them. There's this cool little view of the backup camera. Hit and park. And there we go. Again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys down at the dealership.